there's two sides to the same coin. One is Ron DeSantis is disciplined and he's on message, and clearly many of these lines, as you point out, are prepared. But the flip side of that means he is untested on the national stage. And it's weird to think of a governor of the state of Florida having been untested, but truly, this is someone who has never sat down with an editorial board, who does not engage with the press. Everything he does has been carefully crafted, and you simply can't maintain that posture when you're running for president, and certainly not against Donald Trump. And so Donald Trump has hit Ron DeSantis pretty hard. You've seen Ron DeSantis fall by double digits in the last 60 or 90 days. And given all the events of the last week around Donald Trump, we're starting to see that, in fact, these investigations, for now at least, may be helping Donald Trump.
You know, Molly, we're sitting here talking about this. You have Trump in Waco right now, his first official campaign rally. You've written for Vanity Fair that GOP elites, they simply can't wish Donald Trump away as much as they may want to, writing, quote, "The problem with embracing a cult of personality is that eventually you are left with a cult." Where does that leave any Republican hopeful then, Molly?
Yeah, I don't think you can wish away Trump. I mean, I think that's what we're seeing here again and again. And I would even go a step further, which is to say they like the crazy, right? They find that, he's got a charisma. And again, this is in no way a compliment. The man is a complete lunatic, but he has a charisma that voters respond to. So to say to them, look, we have this guy, he's a little less fun and a little less exciting and a little less charismatic, but we like him better because he's fancier and better organized. I don't know how you sell that to the base. And I don't think at this point the elites are really in control anymore, as we've seen again and again. So even like you see with Trump, when he tweeted, again, he still hasn't been charged. Nothing has happened. But he tweeted he was going to get arrested. And immediately the Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, was out there defending him when there were no charges. So, I mean, these people have kidnapped themselves and they're holding themselves hostage.
David, part of what's interesting to me is that, the holding themselves hostage piece is not just that there is the possibility that they will end up with Trump as their nominee. It's that, as you and I have talked about many times before, they have chosen to be hostage to his policies, right? And so it is interesting to me that you have Ron DeSantis doubling down on all this Trumpism in the form of policy that's actually already right now changing people's life. And yet you have recent polling that shows that all those policies of DeSantis's aren't popular on a national scale. So that includes an abortion ban at 6 weeks, which we're seeing move through the Florida legislature, more quote, anti-woke legislation like banning critical race theory, gender studies, or intersectionality at public colleges and universities. I mean, one, there's a question of, can he get through a primary? But then there's the secondary question, which has become the question every Republican primary into a general, which is even if he does, none of that's popular in a general election.
That's exactly right. We saw Republicans lose badly in 18, the first real test post-Donald Trump's election. In 20, we saw them lose again, and in 22, they woefully underperformed. And they're going to go into 24 with the same playbook and the same theme, in part because, realistically, the only way to become a Republican nominee is to hug Trumpism very closely. And, look, I think this is a defining week between Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis. We may look back at this being the week where the daylight really got between the two of them. Ron DeSantis, for the last half year, arguably had the hottest hand in American politics. But to Molly's point, when Donald Trump tweeted out about being indicted, everyone rushed to Donald Trump except one person, Ron DeSantis. He blinked. And all the Republicans saw that he blinked. And so where he had the hottest hand, and we were wondering if there'd be a coronation of Ron DeSantis.